Yes.
Mr. Chairman, any chance I could follow up just briefly on the promotional issue?
If you can be very brief, Mr. Schiff is waiting.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to say we recognize there may or may not be promotional value in music that is played on AM/FM, but this system takes that into account. It actually directs the rate setter to consider promotion. If the broadcasters believe the rhetoric that promotion is so valuable, then they should be confident that that would work its way out in the proceedings as a rate is set for this. So.
I thank the gentleman. I now go to my colleague from California, Mr. Schiff.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you all for being here. Mr. and Mrs. Travis, I want to start by thanking you for sharing your story with us. I'm a proud co-sponsor of the American Music Fairness Act and a strong supporter of what this bill at its core stands for and what it means to creators. My district in the state of California is home to so many creators that rely, just like you do, on performance royalty payments every time their songs are played in restaurants, through streaming services, and elsewhere, everywhere but on AM/FM radio. I echo the sentiments of many of my colleagues that support this legislation, and I'm grateful that you took the time today to share the importance of this critical effort. I'd also like to take the opportunity to ask you a little more about your most recent song, Where That Came From, which you created using generative AI to create your voice, Mr. Travis. Can you share a little more about what that process has meant to you both, and specifically how you would feel if someone else used AI to recreate your voice without your permission? What is ownership of your ability, over your ability, and what should be your ability alone to train a generative AI model on your voice? What does that mean to you?
I can tell you it was a very emotional thing for Randy to hear his voice again. We never thought we would. He went through every human emotion there was, just like he went through every human ability to create that song. Being in the studio with his musicians, with his producer, his piece of AI work was humanistic and artistic. And that's the difference in the good and the bad AI. It meant the world to me to hear his song again. Just a moment ago when Chairman Issa played that, I thought I was going to break out in tears again, because just to hear that voice again after so many years, something you never thought you'd get to do, is very important to us. But the whole process was, like I said, it took 11 months. We were in brand new waters. We were treading in new waters. We didn't know exactly how this was going to happen. And in fact, when the final song was sent, after he and Kyle got through tweaking it, changing, making sure it sounded like Randy Travis, they sent it back to the gentleman that created this AI platform, and they said, we never thought it could work this well. So it was kind of enlightening for a lot of us. And I apologize, I don't remember the other part of your question.
Well,
now.
I guess the other part of my question is the flip side, and that is what goes through your head when you contemplate others using AI to recreate your husband's voice without your permission, authorization, or compensation, to produce songs you didn't write, using melodies you would not condone, and what that means in terms of the dilution of your brand?
It feels kind of like identity theft. It is intellectual property, the voice, the likeness. So it does feel like somebody has robbed you, because he has spent his whole life since he was 7 years old making music, knew that's what he wanted to do, that's all he wanted to do. So when you hear somebody on the internet or on your computer and they're pretending to be Randy Travis, and it doesn't sound like Randy Travis, it hurts. And I think that that's what all artists feel. Like I said, just like you've been robbed, just like it's identity theft. And there needs to be laws that are in place to keep that from happening, which means consent and compensation and attribution and provenance so that it doesn't happen. And it's coming up so fast now that if we don't get on the front end of it, which I'm not sure we can at this point, but if we don't get in as soon as we can to protect the artist, not sure where we'll go from there.
Well, thank you for sharing that. And Mr. Travis, I know I speak for many millions of people who are thrilled and grateful that you can continue to make new music. Thank you for that gift, and thank you for your testimony today.
Thank you.
I thank the gentleman, and I might remind all of my colleagues that Mr. Schiff has been a leader